So this is the Amiga with the ATOnce. It has only 2 floppy drives, no separate hard drive, because the ATOnce is quite flaky for me actually, and yeah, I have the normal 0.5 MB RAM expansion, slow RAM in here, but pretty much anything else I try to put in there just makes the ATOnce not work. For this, however, it's good enough. I mean, about 1 MB of RAM. Of course, it's only half this, because with the ATOnce, the way the ATOnce works is when you start it, it boots both the Amiga OS or whatever is in the Amiga drive, and the DOS operating system, the DOS emulation. Well, it's not really emulation because there's an actual 286 in there. And as far as I can tell from documentation online, the only hard drives that work with it are the ones you got back in the day that go in the side expansion slot. I don't have any of those. I only have these kind of CF card things and SD card things, so those don't work. Never worked stably for me. And neither do any of the larger RAM expansions that I tried. Neither they don't work in the side expansion port, they don't work directly under the CPU either. Okay, so I've set it to 512 kilobytes. The 286 is running at 7 MHz, as you can see. And what you're hearing here is actually, it's the Amiga OS that's still booting. So I can, let's see, I forget which is, so this mouse actually, so this isn't part of DOS, that's actually part of the Amiga operating system that's behind there. So, but let's press something. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is how I switch. Okay, so here you can actually see the Amiga that is actually still going behind this. So it actually booted the same thing up again. So I configured it so that drive DF0 is B in DOS and drive DF1 is A. So, and in A, as you can see, I'm booting FreeDOS, and pretty much don't need anything. I found that I do need 2 disks though, because it very quickly gets confused if the FreeDOS disk that it booted off is not available anymore. So what I tend to do is I just take out this one, put in Planet X3 here, go to drive B. I don't know why it does this. I think that's some incompatibility with FreeDOS. So I'm going to launch Planet X3 CGA, because that's all I have. So the ATOnce Plus also supports EGA graphics, but the ATOnce only supports CGA. And it only emulates a speaker, not Tandy or Sound Blaster or anything like that. It only emulates PC speaker, and not very well, as you can hear in a second. But then actually, once it started, it actually works reasonably well. It's not super fast, not as fast as you might expect of a 7 MHz 286. I think it feels that the screen updates are kind of laggy. It's not like the input is lagging, it's really the screen updates, which I think is due to the way that the ATOnce pushes everything out through the Amiga graphics system. But yeah, as you can see, you can drive around nicely, build things, I don't know, let's build a factory, and like all that, like parallelism and all that stuff obviously works correctly, and you can go turn the music back on. It's actually quite slow when it switches the PC speaker on. I haven't noticed that on the actual IBM hardware, but well. And Personally, I actually prefer this palette. I like this one the most. Yeah, but as you can see, so this is just like working normally. There's nothing really interesting going on. So this Amiga is actually running, so this has the ACA500 Plus from Jens Schürfeld, and it also has the expansion that gives it a 6802 with 26 megahertz, running at 26 megahertz. So it's actually quite a bit faster than a plain A500. And it can run PC tasks for simple things fairly well. Interestingly, the dynamic one is supposed to go a little faster. It crashes for me on Planet X3. This is with a dynamic recompiler that as it starts interpreting code, it actually recompiles it into 68K code to supposedly make it run faster and use quite a bit more RAM for that. But due to the expansion this thing has plenty of RAM anyway. But as I said, it crashes for me in Planet X3, and the other things I tried, it actually doesn't make that much of a difference for me. Maybe I'm not configuring it right or something. But anyway, so here I've already installed, like I'm working off a hard file here that's on this CF card. Graphics mode is set to EGA now. I'm going to set it to CGA though, to kind of see, so you can kind of compare to the performance to the ATOnce that actually has a 286 CPU. So Planet 3, I think, and we can launch it like this. And for some reason it still asks me, or I thought it would. So this also, again, this cannot emulate, PC task cannot emulate any sound cards, so it's only going to be PC speaker. That sounds quite a bit different. So far it's okay, right? But here, I'm taking my hand off, right? And it's hard to tell on the video, but there's actually quite a bit of input lag, and you can also, maybe you can see it on the screen, that the screen updates are actually very, very slow. So in full screen mode, that one doesn't work really well. What is nice, I should have shown this, the same thing works on the ATOnce, of course. You can, of course, still switch between the Amiga OS and PC task, but that's kind of neat still. Let's turn on the music again. And that doesn't seem to make much of a difference. CGA palette, again, only two seem to work. And in low screen width, I still have this input lag. Like I'm lifting my finger, and I don't have this on an actual IBM that it would like go for this long. But yeah, whatever. But other than that, I mean, it's actually still okay. I would actually think if I could network those, like if this was a network game. I've done this with some other null modem capable DOS games. You can actually network those too. That works fine. But so this really has lower performance, even though it's running on a 6802 processor, 26 megahertz. PC task can emulate EGA, right? So, which is what I had initially. So it's going to show how EGA mode works, and that's actually quite impressive. How slow it actually is. Okay, let's see. And let's have the EGA version. And here it actually asks me not to. Ah, yeah, here we go. Well, it's a very nice animation, I have to say. Just kind of wish I could skip it. And this, here you can clearly see how the tiles are being drawn. And this actually almost looks like in the making of video, the debug mode, where you could see how the tiles are drawn really, really slowly. Well, not the debug mode, but kind of setting DOSBox to a really low cycle count. But it still works.